Next one. And then one thing I want to mention is that in 1992, he led the cardiothoracic team at Grantham Hospital to perform the first heart transplant in Hong Kong. And the patient, surprisingly, is still surviving after 20-odd years now. Professor Mock retired and do private practice. And then, unfortunately, between 2003 to 2014, he had some very funny illness that caused him a lot of suffering and pain. And then he finally left us in February this year. So around 20-odd years that I was working with him, I want to say that he is, despite his great achievement, he is a very low-key person. He was amiable to everybody he worked with, be they doctors, nurses, clerical staff, or ward attendants, or even janitor. And I never saw him losing his temper. And as for the patients, he was really kind to them. According to his wife, Chan Bing, she said that he charged very low fees for the patients. For example, he charged only $3,000 for a thoracotomy. And sometimes he even waived the fees. This contrasted greatly with some of the renowned cardiothoracic surgeons in town. They really charge exorbitant prices. And yet all these surgeons had been trained under him during his time at Grantham Hospital. So I hope that we should be all very proud of Professor Mock, because we are classmates, we have been classmates. And then we are really very proud of his achievement. And then we honored his noble character. But we lament his prolonged suffering from a debilitating and tormenting illness. And of course, we all grieve deeply for his untimely and early departure from us. So I hope you will all agree with me that he has been a very great person, and we are all really very proud to be his classmates. Thank you. These poems, I have the hard copies, and also includes a very nice essay about Mock, C.K. Mock. And I have these hard copies now. Distribute them around if you want them.
Okay, as you are aware, Sig and I have been given the prestigious task of being your MC this evening. We are only happy to serve you guys. However, we only do it once in 5 years. So please bear with us if we are getting a little bit rusty and jerky. I'm sure you remember the joint declaration by Deng Xiaoping in 1984. He assured us that Hong Kong would not change for 50 years after 1997. Little did he know that in our class of H64, our friendship and fellowship have not only maintained for 50 years, but have grown even stronger. How nice. We should all toast for that. Yeah. So tonight, we should make full use of this occasion and celebrate our golden reunion to our heart's content. Trust me, it's going to be a long and enjoyable evening. So now we'll serve dinner and we'll take a break.
下次去三條村嘅，好少我頭先嚟都冇揸車。你用車啊嘛？但係我驚佢冇位啊嘛，原來好多位。
I regret that because of some
咁你既然去，咁我
mistakes along the line, we have
揾到車嘅。
missed out Dr. Stephen Su. And now we'll mention about him, okay? Okay, come out to the next program. We are very grateful to Bang Seng Jun for his wonderful couplets. which truly depicts our sentiment and the significance of this Golden Jubilee reunion. You can see that in the USB, which can be reproduced by Joseph. SC also prepared a long poem titled Ode to Our Class of 64, which will take a long time to recite. But you can see the whole text also in when are you going to give it to Joseph upon request? Anyway, SC can come out and recite a few stanzas to us.
Sir David, Dr. Y.C. Cho, dear classmates and spouses, I've written a poem covering our 55 years of association. It has 18 stanzas of 6 lines each, for a total of 108 lines. As you can see, these are all lucky Chinese numbers, but I don't have the time to present it complete, and so may I share with you the first 2 stanzas and the last 2 stanzas, and I hope you will like it. Do you still remember? It all began in September. In the year 1959, anyone could see our faces shine, reflecting a smile we so proudly wore to form the metal class of 64. In the dissection hall, we acquainted one another. Around nameless cadavers, we grouped together, sitting on stools to take up the task. We could not help whispering to ask, which is the one with the highest score to head the metal class of 64? And then it goes on, covering our undergraduate years and our postgraduate celebrations, ending with the Ruby celebration was a great hit. The wish to meet oftener was explicit. We have been through tough times as a team. We help each other to realize a noble dream. Now that we have reached non-anniversary door, let's shout, Viva the metal class of 64. One's memory is limited and mine small. Many names and events I cannot recall. You are welcome to add, amend, or delete to make this narrative true and complete. You have the picture, and I need say no more. What a marvelous metal class of 64. Thank you. And
America's poet of class 64. Water has flowed under the bridge. I'm sure many of us have lots of wonderful stories to tell. Happy, inspiring, encouraging, or otherwise. Now I call upon a few of our classmates to share with us some of their life experience. In no particular order. Chandra.
Professor Cho, classmates and friends. The visit yesterday to Hong Kong University was a significant event for me. It brought back many memories. I would like to tell you about an experience I had as a medical student in October 1962. I took ill with hepatitis A. It was then no longer possible for me to continue residing in Morrison Hall due to my illness. Dr. Bart, the then student medical MO had me admitted to the medical clinic. The medical clinic was located in front, by the side of the registrar's office and in front of Lockheed Hall. At 5 p.m. daily, the staff of the clinic would check out and lock the premises. I spent the next 3 weeks in near solitary isolation. This was the pre-Guantanamo Bay days, the precursor, I would say. Understandingly, being infectious, I did not have many visitors. I did, however, have one regular visitor, Xiao Kan-Sa, a fellow Malaysian, and in the same clinical grouping as myself in Queen Mary Hospital, would visit me at the end of each day after the clinical session. I used to look forward to his visits as it cheered and sustained me through this period. Konsang was a quiet man who let his actions and deeds speak for himself. He's a deep thinker, yet caring and generous to me and to all of us in the class. He was wise and mature beyond his age. I used to look up to him for counsel and advice. In Konsang, I had a loyal and true friend. He is no longer with us. To this day, I miss him. I am sure many of you in this room share the same sentiment. It is a privilege and honor to be a friend of Konsang. Besides Konsang and a few other friends, the transistor radio that I had was my link to the outside world. The BBC News at that time was all about the Sino-Indian border dispute for the duration of my stay. Saroja, my wife-to-be, at that time was not known to me, is an Indian resident and was doing her first MB and took the first prize in anatomy. Unfortunately, the gold medal that was due to her was not given. The funds for the prize were diverted to the Indian war effort. You can imagine how she felt about China. I assure you, she has now made 2 visits to China, and all is forgiven and forgotten. This is remarkable for an anatomy scholar to forget. There's a happy ending to this story. In my final year examination in medicine, I was examined by the external examiner, who was a Canadian professor. You guessed it, my long case was a patient with infectious hepatitis. This combined with the study of the excellent lecture notes prepared by Million Poe made the party much easier. Million, I want to thank you very much once again for the inverted commas for the loan of your notes. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt to all the members of the organizing committee. You have done a superb job.
Don't swear. Professor Tom, YC, ladies and gentlemen and colleagues. Yes, first of all, I want to clarify my name. My name is Zhao Ganyan, not Zhao Gao. Tonight, I introduced to some of our colleagues, our classmates. I said, I'm Zhao Ganyan. They just stared at me. I said, Zhao Gao. Oh yes, you're Zhao Gao. So remember now, my name is Zhao Ganyan, not Zhao Gao. The most embarrassing situation was